I've never seen screens that big.
It's fantastic.
It's overwhelming, all that sound and all those screens.
The incredible New York experience. Better for me.
Morning at 5:30 a.m. There was a dark storm brewing outside of my house, both mentally and literally. Well, not literally, but I'd like to paint that sort of picture. The package of the game, the actual game I'm supposed to be demonstrating here at the convention that I've worked so hard to create, that game, if it doesn't package correctly, I have no exhibit whatsoever, and I'm waiting. It's 5:30 in the morning. The convention opens in 4 hours. I haven't slept at all, and it fails. The packaging fails. I get this explanation that says package failed, right? And it's all excited. It's got an exclamation point, and I literally thought I was thinking that I was screwed. And then I package it again, crossing my fingers, and I fell asleep. And I look at it after an hour or so, and I see package success. So I very carefully brought this flash drive here, and so that's the game that everybody's playing, but there just was no option. There's no plan B. I don't know. I'd probably be in that corner in the fetal position, crying right now. You'd be filming me. It's probably what would happen.
Trying to shoot.
You can shoot a sword.
But you can't.
Yeah.
That thing fend off some of these. I'm not sure.
How do you shoot?
Yeah, you have to pull the trigger.
What kind of
And
sword?
it-
It's not a sword then. If you
No, you have a sword, lean right and left to move the board right and left, and
Board is that thing.
yeah, it's kind of like the thing the Green Goblin had. So I'm here at NAB, and I think I want to try to find somebody to show Rocket Border to, because I haven't shown that off too much yet.
What's Rocket Border?
Rocket Border is a game. It's kind of like the Path of Greatest Resistance, but in Rocket Border, you're standing on a board. It's kind of like what the Green Goblin, has. And in order to play, you lean left to go left, and you lean right to go right, and crouching and standing up with your arms. And that's the basics of the gameplay. And I'm going to try to find somebody, even if it's just one of the own booth people, to play the game. Just because it's hard to say, like, just because people are really struggling with it right now, maybe for people who play it and get the hang of it, maybe it's still fun. So it's just something I need to think about. I think my other games are probably funner games, but I still want to get Rocket Border out there. I still want to get it published.
Honestly, I think it does help being the only game in town, pardon the pun, only games in town,
Yeah.
right? I think it's actually been kind of beneficial because people come up and kind of go, what are you guys doing, right? And I mean, since we are, the tip of the iceberg in terms of NAB and video games, right? I think it's an interesting kind of development. So yeah, I think a lot of the traffic we've been getting are people kind of going, wait, are you guys at the right show? But it's been good. There's been a good mix of people that have stopped by. Some people just want to see games. Some people want to find out how they can use what we're doing with what they're needing.
Well, all the ones that make the games that go into casinos are out here. So there is software, gaming, entertainment industry out here. It's just not traditional games that aren't gambling. So there's potential there, but yeah, it is limiting.
Well, I think we're just showcasing what indie developers can do. It's we're not Blizzard, we're not Activision, we're not some massive company. We're just individuals that are making games. So I think it's a good way of demonstrating what can be done, even on a small scale, right? That some people might be expected. I've had several times today where people go, "Wait, this is just you?" You know, I mean, they look at the stuff, and I mean, it's flattering, and it's good to know that it's possible in this day and age that you can do this stuff as a one-man crew, you know, successfully.
6 months, I'd have to say. I'm very new to it still, but you know, I've been a gamer all my life. I've played many games such as the one we're making. You know, I love the games that stand out a lot more than your typical shooter or like, you know, sports games. You know, I love the open world RPGs and like games such as Civilization where you can just, you know, kind of build and create your own stuff. Like I said, beyond what I expected. You know, my very first time at NAB personally, as well as hosting this, you know, it's fantastic. So I'd love to come next year, year after that. I'll keep coming.
The NAB show where we're at. The NAB show is debuting the entrance of games into their convention. It's the first time games have ever been here. This is one of the largest entertainment conventions in the world. 100,000 people attended every single year, and it's television, broadcasting, media, radio, film, and technology.
Absolutely critical collaboration of many super good people, right? Like, with their help, though, this is here because of something I did. And it made all the hard work and all the feeling bad and all the really tough stuff like feel like it was worth it, sort of. And so it's cool. It validates it when you have an outsider who just kind of is on the peripheral, doesn't really know what you're doing. They just know that you're making something and you've got some convention event, and they know that from the beginning, and they come here and they see like you've manifested this thing, you know, out of thin air. I've actually gotten over that whole thing like I want to be hired at another studio, I need to be hired at another studio. That was my dream before. And now it's like, actually I don't even want that. Like, why do that when I can be in charge of what we're working on and make my own thing, not work on someone else's vision? Like, wow, you know. Experience at NAB, like, it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Organizing that entire exhibit and the whole convention and all of the details, the little details, the daily details that went through it, and all the people who either rejected or wouldn't get back to me, and then all the people I counted on who I was counting on and then they didn't come through. Like, everything was so difficult, but it was successful. If I'm really advocating and trying to build something and be like as real as possible about it and not go like, oh yeah, I own a business because I have an LLC, but like actually make something that's real, then you have to understand that like, okay, it's going to be even more terrifying and more terrible, and you're going to feel even worse being in public and talking to important people and making an ass out of yourself. And it's like, but at least you're doing something.
I can't really harp on the frame rate and whatnot because it's still early in development, but it is a little choppy. Not being able to jump is pretty bad because in this game, which leads me into a pro, you can actually switch to a third-person view and explore what you've built and interact with the world, which is really neat. You don't see any other games do that in this genre, but you know, not being able to jump and whatnot. But it's still early access, so you can't really harp on it too much. It's really solid for what it is right now. I was really impressed.
And the comedy improv mashup is at Panel 1.
Just a couple of weeks just to throw something together and get it in front of people, because the conventions don't really normally work well in terms of just promotion for my games. I don't really get that much in terms of sales from it, but what I can do is take a game that I have an idea of and just like a rough prototype and put it out there and watch people play it. Get their feedback, see, do they keep playing it? Do they want to play it more, right? You know, if they play it for a little while and kind of go, oh, yeah, thanks, right? Then it's like maybe there's not a game there. But if they play it and they turn around and they go, how can I download this? You know, then I know there's potential there.
So this game, Rocket Border, I guess the big hiccup is that I'm not solely focusing on this game because I'm also doing some contract work besides this. So the biggest hiccup is just the frustration of being so close to having a new way to visualize it, but then not quite getting it done.
It's Virtus, VIRTUS, space, $ACT. W, welcome the customer. E, engage the customer. $, sell. A, add-on sales, so stuff that would go with the game. Exactly, we don't have that yet, but that's something made yet. Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Close the sale, thank, invite back. The last part's most important because if you invite them back, they might come back.
This is not unique to game development. It's unique to every industry ever. Not unique. It's typical of every industry, which is that everybody copies each other. Everybody looks at that guy's roadmap and says, "Oh, okay, that's how you do the thing," and then they do what that guy did. But that guy was doing the same thing to the guy next to him, and so on and so forth. So that's how you get cookie cutter personalities and cookie cutter behavior and businesses that have to compete with each other because they're all doing the exact same thing, and that's when competition becomes necessary. Nobody just goes like, okay, this hasn't been done before, and that's okay, and repeats that philosophy in just about everything they do. So like with NAB, it was like that with me, because not only was NAB just this convention event I was giving the opportunity to, and then I rose to the occasion, and then organized it, and then it happened. I downloaded Unreal Engine October 2016, going almost 2017. Just going, I'm going to teach myself game development. A year later, 12 months later, in October, I'm now teaching people in school how to do this. So that was the October, 6 months ago, and I think it was the elementary school I did first, which would be Marzano Academy. So I wrote some basic notes on the lesson I'm going to do today. So I wrote the different stuff I'm going to put on the whiteboard. Kind of gets people affiliated, how to move from side to side. If you want to delete something, you want to copy and paste something, how to look around. So I took little notes, and then I just sketched out here as well. So what you guys are doing right now is you're level designing. This is what actual game developers do every day. You mentioned Fortnite before, right? Fortnite's like an island that you land on, right? Well, how do you make a huge island in a fast amount of time?
It has something to do with these. I'm not sure. So pay attention. Watch his so you remember to do it at home. Because we only got 5 minutes left.
It's the best thing you could do as a developer, indie developer, and as a developer teaching yourself. Because when you have to explain it to other people, it makes you really, really good at it. Because you have to think the way a beginner thinks. And that's how all my lessons are. I don't try and go in there to impress them with my knowledge. Hopefully I'm creating like future developers that I could hire from in the next 3 to 5 years. Some of us get discovered and we go, hey, you've got a good look about you. Come work for me and see what you can do. And that person blossoms. But for the majority of people, you can't just count on the situation. I don't know. I wish I had figured out myself more earlier, and I still have not figured it. Like that's the thing. Like this whole interview is happening it's cool too, in a part where I am still in the metamorphosis, maybe, of what I'm supposed to become, what I'd like to become, and I don't even know exactly what that is. I probably have a glimpse, right? And that's where I orient myself and my behavior towards. If 5 years from now, I'd like things to be very different with who I am and how I am. But game development-wise, business-wise, .word games-wise, in 5 years, I want to have team of developers and some seriously great games that we've already made and be working on like a great project.